Okay, hi. My name is Hugh Clouds. Welcome to Perfect Thoughts, the show where we connect the dots of how tiny thoughts and actions grow between our three worlds: the human experience, our mind's privacy, and the online world that is very public. So, in this multiverse of options and opinions, as always, let your intuition guide you back to the most important and valuable opinion of them all: your own. Yes, the intro and the outro got a tiny makeover that I think fits the show better. I hope that you guys agree. So let's start with the feeling and thoughts present before you start doing anything. Oof, that anticipation. The anticipation when the idea sparks is super fun. Having a vision of what the future will look like once you make this huge thing work is amazing. It is the vision alone that is driving all of this preparation, research, and asking and reading options and questions on what the best way to do this is. But you won't realize until a little bit later that you're really asking for feedback about yourself. How can you prepare for something that you don't really understand yet? Well, all we're really doing is looking and adding all of these elements that you need to give yourself permission, because deep down a part of us knows that it's a new feeling, it's a new challenge, it's a new thing, and no one can really guide you on being you. So depending on how you speak to yourself, this can be either very empowering to know to you, which is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario, though, would be that you deeply need that missing parent-like feeling of someone telling you what to do first. This is fixable. This can be fixed. I was the worst case scenario, but trust me, if I can do it, so can you. It just takes a little bit longer for some of us, and that's sometimes better. That is actually better in a world that changes faster than our mood. Anyways, let's talk about what happens when you are preparing for action and the idea has a deadline that you set for yourself. A lot of people don't see it as a promise, like a deadline being a promise, but I promise that is a promise, an opportunity to build trust and confidence with yourself. No one is saying it out loud, but that's really what is secretly happening. So know that. And so let's say that you do miss your deadline, right? Due to the pressure of how permanent or impermanent it all feels. Or you're hesitant about how you're going to present yourself first. Let's just say that the results are mid and then you're not happy and you don't like your results because they don't even meet your minimum standards. How do we fix that? So soon, before the disappointment of a day can turn into months, and some may never come back to try again and again, like they naturally should. This is the natural way of how progress works. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to you and I, at least not too often. Maybe you don't get frozen in time like some of us do, okay? But if you do, we can both re-listen to this together. We can stay silent in order to process our thoughts and emotions, yes? But we have to come back and build trust by showing up for ourselves. Trust in your community gets built when you show up for yourself first. We said we would do it, and so let God take the wheel. Let God take the wheel. So, do the thing. Do the thing. Nothing that is new. Think about all your favorite things. Nothing that is new stays new for too long. Everything eventually gets boring. So find comfort in that, okay? Scandals, inventions, moments, everything becomes a curation of itself. It is. Here's a tiny poem about that feeling of impermanence, of how little things really last or stay this strong and this present. You know, like one day I will listen back to this and be like, yeah, it was mid, but right now I feel like it's the best that I can do, and that's good enough for me. So this is the little poem. Here it goes. Art is not a static thing that stays the same forever. It changes with the passing time and the changing weather. Some artists make their work to last and preserve them with great care, but others make them fade away and share them with the air. Some artworks have a timer set and expire after years, but others have a symbol mark that keeps them through the tears. Art is not a simple thing that has a clear-cut answer. It reflects the complex world and its ever-changing nature. There's almost nothing, okay? Nothing that has not been said before. But it's the way that each person speaks. It's their style. What makes it all look so different. And this is good news if you're trying to find your style. Get this, style changes with you. Because you change as a person as well. So it will be all fun at first, exciting, maybe even scary to start, but you will have to repeat that process once it's done. Many, many times over and over. And it will almost become boring because you'll have to sit down and realize that you have to turn to silence and boredom. You have to appreciate it in order to concentrate on what is the most important thing to do and say first, without the echoes of everybody else. I still cannot summarize things perfectly, but I will try my best. That is the attitude that you will have to keep when you begin anything. What is really truly scaring you in a, I guess, psychological level is having no true example of who to follow all the way that you're going, because we all eventually arrive at the same conclusions. There is a point in time where no one can guide you anymore. All of the advice and everything, you start to understand that it tastes the same, because we all arrive at this conclusion that you need to learn how to lead. You have to take that responsibility, and you have to be okay. You have to be cool with how you do it. And if you don't like how you do it, you have to learn how to do it better. Better as in, what makes you feel the most proud right now? What is that version that makes you feel the most proud right now? Maybe perhaps getting stuck doesn't happen to you ever. You're so lucky if that is you. But everyone should prepare for getting nothing for a little bit. Being patient by staying busy doing something that reminds you of gratitude brings you back to why you started in the first place. What sparked the first flame? Maybe don't talk your way out of it so soon. Everyone overthinks. Everyone has reasons and lessons for silence and stillness. It is normal. It happens to everyone. For example, I was shocked. I was so shocked to learn 2 days ago, I believe, that two of the people that I respect a lot in the entertainment industry, who are established with like 20 plus years of success, who are very well known. A lot of you know them. They're a duo. And even they feel the need to overthink a new set of permissions for themselves to keep doing what they love. They too have doubts. And this is why, because they may have bigger and different doubts than ours because of where their career is. But at some point, everyone always comes back to this thing, this hesitation, because we all can feel the shifts in society and culture and what the people want as times change. People don't want the same things all the time. And so everyone is always reinventing themselves, growing, doubting, asking for permission from someone that doesn't exist. So waiting for an example or being let down by their own role models, for example, this triggers me. When people are let down by their own role models and they just drop everything good that they were taught, that is the saddest thing, guys, because that is an opportunity, my friends. Okay? This is your call, babes. If you can't find a product, a person, or anything that you know you need, why not be it? Use what you know and what you already have. My cats have the zoomies. I am so sorry. What you already have to be it, do it, make it faster, stronger. I'm working on faster, but I got stronger. Okay, let's just say we don't ever think to prepare for nothing, as we are so busy imagining everything. So no wonder some people feel Like, oh my god, hold on. I'm back. I just wanted to let my cat finish her sumis. I have 3 of them, and one of them happened to have, I don't know. So no wonder. Okay, like I was saying, we don't prepare for nothing as we imagine everything. No wonder some people feel disappointed and almost don't feel the need to say or do anything else after we get the scariest and most exciting thing out of the way. We always prepare, before we start, we always prepare to feel that initial excitement forever. And then we narrow our mind's eye into the results first. We are simply motivated by a vision, a plan inspired by someone else's years of perfection that we admire. So let's just pretend for a second that everything's going your way. Things are picking up, okay? Let's just say things are moving. And what if you get everything that you wanted right now? You would not be the first person to be tricked into getting complacent or lazy, forgetting your purpose, or even get lost in attention that you will lose it. Like, all of that will lose its luster too. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of doing the thing, continuing to do the thing. The thing will give you results eventually. It has to. And if it doesn't, maybe you have to minimize the goal to the same thing, but just slightly more your speed. Take away a little bit and match your speed, and that's okay. The things naturally will speed up again as you are doing the thing. Okay, so now what, right? Now what? Well, the thing that, if it all fails, let's just say, if it all fails, I try to go back to the person itself. Like, I try to put myself in this place of, what I'm doing is not unique. What other people are doing is not unique. It just looks unique. But the processes usually start the same way. So I think about it. And I'm like, okay, let's strip it all down, babes. At the root of every product, podcast, movie, event, or anything that is made to create a vibe that people want to invest in, I guess, there is a human, hopefully, still, there is a human staring at a blank piece of screen or a blank sheet of paper, asking themselves the same rotating questions that seem to always be on time for us when we're about to do anything. It's like, what message is bursting out of me? What is the most important thing to do and say right now? What do I want to do and say first? And I struggle with that. And then also the philosophy I have about how sometimes silence is more productive. Sometimes silence is better. And even though I get stuck sometimes, but at the end of the day, what I want is based on my life. Like, what I want already happened. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I think people can feel when you're doing something at a need, but depending on what that need is, people will either take you seriously or they won't. And so you have to make that need not be so instant. You know, you have to think of a certain need. And what happens sometimes is, like, when we do, quote unquote, pull the trigger on something that we really care about, the feeling of just doing that alone, just like putting in, you know, like doing the first things, saying everything that we need to say or we think is the most important first. And then it gets to a point where it's like, I have so much to say, but also I am satisfied with what I've said. And I think that happened to me because even though this, I'm a little off track right now. I'm not going by the script, but it's because I kind of feel that, like, we all feel the need to kind of overshare, you know, and we're always wondering how much of that we should do. For example, for me, I almost find it ridiculous to have to convince people that I care, because you don't tell them, you show them. And so I'm battling with that of, like, how much should I say and what should I say? How do I show more than I tell? And a lot of the times our showing is not fast enough because life or our own self limitations or our own speed. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I like improvising. I think it's natural. My best quotes and ideas come to me when I'm not recording, which is super frustrating sometimes. But I'm slowly finding ways around it. I feel like I'm figuring it out, but I don't want to speak on what I'm figuring out first yet, because I want to make sure that it's valid and that it's true and that it comes from a place of not lack. You know what I mean? I don't want it to come from a place of like me trying to convince you, like, believe me that I'm telling you the truth. It's more like, okay, what is she doing? Is she about what she says? And that's why sometimes I feel like silence is better, because I'm like, sometimes silence is better. Like, I felt that way in the past few weeks, but I also have that confliction of progress needs to be a little messy, girl, because if you're not making it a goal for you to at least build a habit, of getting all the crappy stuff out of the way first. But it's like, how crappy is it? Like, does it have to be crappy? Like, be honest with yourself. Are you kind of like lying to yourself? Because that can feel a little embarrassing to you. Like, no one knows that you're lying except for yourself. And I think that's what happens a lot of the times. Like, for example, this show, it's so important to me. So important. You have absolutely no idea, and you never will. And maybe one day. But I'm not just throwing a spaghetti at the wall here. I took the time to be quiet because I understand how other people affect me, especially if I'm looking forward to listening to what clues they can give me. If I find that I can trust them and respect them, I feel like the advice often means more depending on where it comes from. It has a specific weight to it, and I can't put it into words yet, but I'm close to it. I think I'm having a little bit of like a air. I'm getting a little bit of that air of like, I'm starting to understand why people get stuck. You would think that it would be easier once you finally do it, but through my research and just years of looking at how people do things, right? Looking for my own proof, looking for my own permission, I realized that there is so many shows that get abandoned that it makes no sense because they're actually really good. And it's so sad to me that people cannot see their own line of progression. And even I sometimes cannot see my own line of progression. Nothing will ever really be good enough. Because that's my dishwasher. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like at the end of it all, when this is all done and over, if we just, get down to the point, we all often go back to feeling neutral. More will not be enough to inspire you. We are just trying to make the best predictions for ourselves. We are betting on how we will feel, the results we will get, and we think that the initial excitement, like I said, will keep us going. But we know that that's not true for anything. Even some of our favorite things change. And so why wouldn't your art and mine change too? It is nearly impossible for you to squish every part of you in one moment or one product. People need trust, we need context, and we need time. So maybe, since we're all out here making predictions in the beginning of anything we do, let's make our predictions easy enough for us to win and for us to complete, and get risky with it as you build confidence, and don't be embarrassed of one moment, okay? Anyone who is taking their life seriously will not make fun of you. They will respect you, especially every time you decide that we don't give up. We just adjust and it's back on track. Then speed it up. Remember that. Let's say it with me. If we get stuck, we don't give up. We adjust and it's back on track. Then speed it up. But yeah, no, seriously. There's so much that I wish that I could say, but I guess that's kind of why I get stuck as well. This is why this there is some truth behind this, what I just said. I feel like we have a vision of progress and what our best version looks like, and we're not quite there yet. And so for us, it's deep down embarrassing that we're not there yet. It's stressful that we're not there yet. We know what is good, what we consider to be good, but we're not there yet. You're trying to compress all of who you are in one impression, and that is just so impossible. Whether you go to a job or meet someone for the first time, no one wants to be love bombed, and no one wants to word bomb it on someone else. Like, making first impressions is so important, but if I could give you one rule, is keep things simple, and less truly is more. Relationships take time, and I see this as a relationship, a good one, a healthy one, and so I need to be healthy as well. With that being said, I appreciate you so much. I think I'm just going to kind of keep the outros natural and short and off the script, except for telling you that I will see you next Monday, and that I'm Hugh Clouds, and for you to take care of your perfect thoughts, and then tell you peace. But I feel like being so restricted sometimes, especially towards the end, or being too stuck to the script, can be tricky for someone who has ADHD and everything that you will soon find out about me. I would really appreciate for you to check out all my social medias at Hugh Clouds, HUECLOUDS. And the podcast you can find on YouTube and on Spotify. They go live every Monday at midnight. Like, as soon as Monday hits, they should be up there. Thank you so much. Please, if you can, give this 5 stars. I am practicing self-promotion. Yes. New stage in my life. Thank you so much. And I hope that you have a great Monday. Take care of your perfect thoughts, bruh. And peace.